Joshua, thank you so much for joining me for this conversation about the stuff that you're working on. Really excited to have you be one of our speakers at NFT.NYC this year. And please introduce yourself to folks that may not know you and the projects that you're involved with. ETHDenver, your shirt. Looking forward to hearing about that shirt a little bit, and Opolis. So yes, please introduce yourself.
Thank you. So I'm Joshua. I go by 0x Joshua online. My day job is the executive community steward at Opolis. We help individual, independent contractors, NFT artists, NFT collectors, etc., access high quality employment benefits and process crypto payroll. I'm also a steward of ETHDenver, and as you mentioned, the shirt. So this is a Buffcorn from the Buffcorn Biddle Brigade, which was actually launched at NFT.NYC 2021. It's a 10,000 PFP that's like a Be the Buffcorn. And this was our volunteer shirt from ETHDenver 2022. And then I'm also a founder of Rainbow Rolls, which is what my talk at NFT and NYC this year will be about, NFT for public goods. So we wanted to prove that while satirizing the 10,000 PFP setup, raising money for public goods, and we chose Gitcoin Giveth and RIP Medical Debt as our charities and public goods to fund.
And I mean, there's been a bit of press and publicity around what you guys have done. Maybe you could share, it's one, I mean, there's a couple of really cool stories. Maybe you could share at least one of them about the good that's come of that.
Yeah. So we gave RIP Medical Debt about $91,000 back in November via the Giveth platform. So we helped onboard RIP Medical Debt as a charity on the Giveth platform, which is a great platform for onboarding nonprofits to accept crypto donations, but then have it instant converted so that they're actually receiving fiat. So it's helping our community to fund things out in the meat space without having to get people really tied into get them to wrap their head around like, oh my God, this crypto stuff. And so we gave the 91K to RIP Medical Debt, and they wiped $7.35 million worth of medical debt away. The way they do it is they buy bulk medical debt, and instead of collecting on it, they just wipe it. And so they will then send a letter to the families, and in our case, it was a little over 5,000, saying, an NFT project on the Ethereum blockchain helped to wipe your medical debt. And so it was really cool that these people who've probably never heard of crypto or ETH or NFTs for the first time heard about it in the context of like, this burden has been lifted and my debt has been wiped away. So the RIP Medical Debt published a report on Twitter and immediately got backlash from these people who were like, how dare you burn down the rainforest to wipe people's debt. One of the funny things I saw was someone said, the person whose medical debt you're wiping probably wants to live in the world longer than 20 years that you've cut off the Earth's lifespan because of these NFTs. And it's like, you're never going to make everyone happy. And for the families whose medical debt got wiped, like we did it for them.
It's awesome. So good. You talked about Opolis, and I want to come back to that because it feels like it's very practical. So can you just explain a little bit slow, like what is Opolis? What are you providing to people that are going to be at NFT.NYC if they don't know about it? I think it's easy for you and I just to have fun and jump into fun, but it's practical for a moment before we move on.
Yeah. So Opolis, as I mentioned, is a digital employment cooperative. So what you as a attendee of NFT.NYC, if you let's say you are an independent contractor or you're a solopreneur or you're an NFT collector and you've got all of this NFT ETH gains that you don't know how to process as taxable income, we essentially do that. We're a payroll processor. So we help you wrap yourself in an LLC if you don't already have one. That income goes into your LLC. We invoice your LLC for your paycheck, which you tell us what amount you want to pay yourself. And through this payroll process, we're able to give you a W-2 by semi-monthly pay stubs, so first and third Friday, which then allows you to qualify for like leases and mortgages and car loans because instead of saying like I work for Magic Internet Money and I flip JPEGs on OpenSea, where car dealers can be like, what are you talking about? You can say, you know, I'm a, I don't know, an art collector for a cooperative, and you've got pay stubs that show stable income. And in that process, you also pay into Social Security, Medicare, workers' comp, unemployment insurance, and we take all of the state, local, federal taxes that you owe. And so essentially, you've got all this Magic Internet 1099 money that's floating around, and we are professionalizing your business and giving you a W-2 and allowing you to be compliant. One of the jokes that I like to make is about Al Capone. Are you familiar with Al Capone?
Oh yeah.
One of the most prolific gangsters of ever, out of Chicago, which is where I'm from, so I like talking about him. Also responsible for expiration dates being on milk cartons, but he's responsible for over 400 deaths, like confirmed body count, racketeering, alcohol during the prohibition, all that bad stuff. You know what the feds got him for? Tax evasion.
It's gotten a lot of people.
Yeah. So we're here basically to say, we're here to help you pay your taxes, be compliant, do all the great innovation and building that we're doing in the space. And if we pay our taxes, the government will leave us alone.
Well, I'm glad I asked you for more details on that. I think just what you shared could be helpful for people, and certainly potentially leaning on your company. ETHDenver, you know, oftentimes I've had people over the last couple of years just rave about ETHDenver. It feels like it's done so many things right, bringing the community together, entertainment, all the different elements that make it memorable and desirable to be there. And so give us a little background on ETHDenver, what you have been done, being a part of it, and what you anticipate is kind of next for that community, because I think it's a really important part of the ecosystem.
Yeah. So I joined as a volunteer in 2020, and then as a steward in 2021, and now I'm the treasurer of Spork DAO, which is the DAO that is kind of the umbrella DAO for ETHDenver and some of the other DAOs. It started back in 2018, and one of the things that really rang true with me, and I think one of the things NFT.NYC does right, was you guys didn't start as this like top-down approach where you're a bunch of people from all over, from not New York, who are like, New York seems like a cool place, let's throw an event here. It started as a meetup. So ETHDenver started as a meetup. They got bigger and bigger and bigger in 2017, and then John Paller comes around, who's the founder of Opolis and also founder of ETHDenver, and says, we should throw a hackathon. Let's try to like build something. And so then February 2018, they do the first hackathon, and it started from the community up, and it went well. So they said, let's do it again next year. And then it went well again, and so forth. And we've done 5 installations. We're planning the 6th one now, which will be in February 2023. Awesome. We've outgrown the sports castle, which has a capacity of about 3,500. We had close to 28,000 apply.
Wow.
Last year, and I think we had 15 to 18,000 like in the surrounding areas that checked into at least one of our 6 venues. Yeah, it was a crazy expansion. We don't have a venue locked, so I don't want to mention where it'll be, but we're very excited about the growth. We're expecting a lot more than 5,000 people to attend, so that's gonna be a good one.
Well, I love events in this industry, what that team's done, what the team with NFT.NYC has done, and some of the newer ones that have been popping up. You know, it brings people together, and a lot of great things happen at these events, and it does feel more decentralized. It feels like people kind of do whatever they want. They kind of leverage the big show for the stuff that is important to them and their projects. And I think that's such a great approach. And it gives us an incredible opportunity for people to feel like collaboration makes sense.
The side event culture has gotten really big. It was great at NFT.NYC last year. It was great at ETHDenver. It's going to keep getting bigger.
Yeah. NFT.NYC/events, we started to put all of these additional events on our website because we want people to know about them, and we encourage it strongly.
Cool. Very nice.
You're going to be talking about minting for public goods. So who should be thinking about this that would make a big impact? Like, what's a huge, ambitious type of idea or ideas around minting for public goods, because it sure would be cool if this conversation inspired somebody that's in a position to do something of great significance, and you can maybe spark that.
Yeah, so we did ours manually. We didn't write it, like we didn't hard code it into our contracts, though one of our lead devs, Kyle, is working on this. What we did was we very publicly said, we're going to give away the vast majority of what we raise from this. We're going to make sure the artists get paid. We're going to make sure the devs get paid, because that's really important. You need to incentivize good people to participate in your team. All of us were doxxed, so there wasn't any anonymous folks. Although that's not necessarily a requirement. There seems to be some hubbub about that right now. The thing that I would say that is very important is when you're considering your cap table of where the money from the mint and where the money from the residuals is going to go, consider one of the public goods institutions, or maybe it's even a nonprofit or charity that your team really likes, and help them onboard to Ethereum, give them a MetaMask address and say, part of these funds that we raise are going to be going to you, and you can spend it however you want. We chose Gitcoin, which funds some amazing open source work. They're the largest grants giving organization in this space. We chose Giveth, who I mentioned earlier, helps to onboard charities to the space.
Well, I sure love what all the projects you've been involved with. Very, very inspiring stuff that you've been able to do. And of course, in many regards, it seems all the trajectories say the best is yet to come. Any final thoughts that you'd like to share with the NFT.NYC community?
I don't know. Final
it's okay
thoughts.
Not to have final thoughts. I think I think it's been a great conversation that we've already had.
Well, I guess my final thought would be, if you right now are in a position where you have this 1099 income that it's just kind of floating out there, and you would like a W-2, you'd like access to healthcare, dental, vision, whatever, come find us. My Calendly is posted in, I think it's in my Twitter. If not, we can throw it in here. My DMs are all open, so feel free to reach out if you are interested in joining Opolis.
That is a great final word. For those that are watching our conversation, thank you for your attention. And we look forward to seeing you at NFT.NYC, June 20th through the 23rd in Times Square. Joshua, thank you for joining me for this. I look forward to seeing you next month.
Yeah, see you there.